Well, hello there. Today is the day after the Europe, Middle East, and Africa Regional Finals were concluded, and congratulations to my good friend Topotic. He is an unbelievable player, and it's been a long wait for him to achieve something big like this. He's been playing the game for so long, he's an absolute talent at the game, gifted, and no matter how much preparation that guy puts in, he's always going to be one of the best players. And it's very nice to see this tournament reflect that, especially in his game against Consus and Finn on the finals day. And man, he truly deserves it, and I hope he enjoys it, enjoys the moment, and spends his money well, and continues playing this amazing game. And hopefully, we'll see him in Stockholm in September. But yeah, in this video, I want to quickly talk about the finals day as well as the group stage day, and just in general of how I found the event from a viewer's perspective and from a community perspective. So yeah, I'd say I'd really enjoyed it. I felt like the finals day was a lot more engaging. I felt like some of the group stage games I wasn't as engaged in, but that's most because I wasn't as familiar with them. I wanted to see some very close, tight games, and there wasn't really many upsets, which is just the way it goes in the group stage. I think like Group D was the most exciting group in terms of unpredictability. Like Mada really popped off, and it was really nice of him to really show what he is capable of. And congrats to him for getting into the World Cup as well. And also like seeing Kratsooo, having a very bad first game and then recovering from that bad game against Mada and then winning his next two games and then beating Blinky and going all the way to the final game against Topotic. Big shout out to him, by the way. I think a lot of players really underestimate him, and he's really shown how good he can be and how good he is in this regionals. And I'm really looking forward to seeing how he does in the World Cup in September. A true talent, and I'm really looking forward to seeing how he performs on the big stage in September. And yeah, in terms of my predictions, I might as well bring those up quickly. My group stage ones, as you saw, were pretty good. Top three, according to that Mr. Blue spreadsheet, which was really nice. Or I think I'm still top three. I'm not too sure, but at the time I checked, top three. The finals day predictions, though, well, I think I only got one prediction correct, and that was Crookst going through. Everything else in the first, like the last 16 or whatever it was, I got completely wrong. Like it was the complete opposite. I feel like my only gamble was Mada against Kodiak, and the other three I felt like I went with the odds more, and it seemed like all the upsets happened at once in that first round, especially like Consus getting knocked out and Blinky getting knocked out by the finalist, Topotic and Kratsooo, was really a surprise, but it also doesn't surprise me because both those lads are really good at the game, and like I say, you just need to nick one away, get one of those wins in the moving, and then with that NMPZ, a lot can happen. And I feel like they had their moments in the NMPZ, and I feel like Consus and Blinky may have had an off guess at the wrong time, and that makes a difference in these tourneys. And like I say, I'm sure they'll both be very hungry for September, and I'm sure they'll be even more ruthless and more consistent when it comes to the main World Cup. But yeah, like what a day the final day was. It was really fun supporting Topotic, especially because, like I say, I've talked to Topotic a lot privately, and we've played a lot of practices together. And like I say, I remember when me and my friends like were practicing these seeds, and Topotic would just absolutely kick our asses whenever it is like a no move or a no move big country based map. He would just batter us 9 times out of 10. And I'm like, this guy's so far ahead of us. It's actually crazy how consistent this guy is in no moving, especially, and to see how far he progressed into the tournament was really nice to see. And yeah, very proud of him. But yeah, like the first stage, I feel like Kodiak got the win, which was expected. I think he played very well, and Kratsooo just played out of his mind to beat Kodiak to get to the final. And Finn, very nice to see him go through, although I think the situation was quite controversial. I don't want to talk about that too much, but I do feel bad for Debre with the situation it was. And yeah, it kind of sucks because I remember him looking at Turkey, and I don't fully know exactly what was going to happen with Finn. I felt like there was an internet issue, and there was talk of him going to Spain, but you never know. In those last 10 or last 5 seconds, he could have easily seen something like a bit of a car or a bit of vegetation and switched country last second. So I could see the argument both ways. Like think about Mada for example. Like he was going like Spain until the last second in the group stage, and then he switched to Turkey the last second because he noticed the white car. That could have happened in that game, in that round. We do not know. So I can see the argument of redoing that round, but I know it. By the chances, it was most likely Finn was probably not going to switch, but he could still have been influenced to switch with even like an extra 5 or 10 seconds because it's very highly competitive, and you shouldn't just assume that people are going to stick or change their minds. Like it's a really complex thing. But either way, I feel like Debre was really playing well until that point. It was a shame that I feel like after that happened, he wasn't as locked in, which was a shame because he was really performing well. And like when Consus got knocked out, I was like, Debre has got a good chance here. Like I said, also Blinky, of course, but if Blinky has an upset, if there's an upset with Blinky, then I feel like Debre was the next person in line. And I feel like Debre was also the hardest opponent Topotic could get because they're so similar. And I feel like Debre just beats Topotic whenever he plays him. So yeah, that happened. But shout out to Finn for getting across the line, and it was very nice seeing progress that far. He's done so much for the community, done so much for research, especially for Russia, and it's good for the community to have him in Stockholm in September as well. But yep, and yeah, what was the other game again? I find it so hard to remember the other games. It was Blinky Kratsooo, Kodiak, Mada, weren't it? And then so I've talked about the last eight. I think it was last eight and the last 16. Then the last four happened. Topotic just popped off. He just completely outplayed Finn, in my opinion. Very strong performance, and I feel like if there's one feedback Finn probably can take for to better prepare against people like Topotic in the World Cup is his moving aspect, his moving duels aspect, because Topotic I feel like was more experienced with it. Like I say, he regularly did competitive moving duels for quite a while and has a very high elo. Like he's had high 1700s or early 1800s at times. Like he's one of the best people at it on the competitive ranks when he plays. Same with Debre. So that might be a good thing to see if not Fungus. So I mean Fungus is amazing at it anyway. But Finn, if Finn can like improve at that by September, like significantly to make it closer and be more consistent with it, that will make it very interesting. And to always have that big influence of being strong at all the big countries as well as being super strong at Russia, he's got a great chance in September, I feel, and he could definitely go quite far in it. But yeah, so the semi-final happened. Topotic just played extremely well against Finn. Topotic goes through to the final. Then Kratsooo played Kodiak, and that was a very good game. But Kratsooo was just popping off on the moving, and honestly was probably the best performing player in the moving side of the games. Like so all the moving games, I feel like he was performing the best on the day for that mode, and it came to show like he won both of his moving games against Topotic in the final as well, and quite comfortably and quite confidently as well, which is the other key aspect to say. But to think about that, like to think that Topotic had to win, he always had to win. So like if he didn't win one of those moving games, I don't think he would have won those no moving games. Sorry, I don't. If he lost one of those no moving games, I think he just would have lost another moving game, and that would have been it, and Kratsu would have won. But he stayed in it, man. He stayed composed, and I was really impressed with how composed he was. Instead of like doing the death slam, he was like clapping whenever there was a good guess, or if there was a bad guess, he kind of just forgot about it and move on. And I felt like he was a lot more professional, and it was a good sign of a winner doing that kind of the behavior he was showing was the signs of a winner, like not letting past rounds get to him. Clearly from the camera they might have in the moment. I do not know, but I didn't visually see it. Obviously there was moments where they had that blunder on the Australia round, and to be honest, I did not see the Australia sign. If the Australia sign, I think the location was shared afterwards, and what Rainbow saw, but they have a much bigger screen. So the lads could have so easily have missed that. I feel like I would have missed that in the final as well. So that was a bit of a blunder, but luckily they both blundered, and they kind of I felt like they kind of got rid of some of the nerves when that happened. But then as the multis came in, then Topotic just started, improving and popping off and being more consistent than Kratsooo, I would say, in the NPZ. And that's what they made the difference, man. And, Topotic thoroughly deserved to get this. There's no argument against it. The first EMEA Regional Finals winner. And like I say, it's very nice to have a friend get the victory as well. And yeah, if you're curious about how I found the group stage, I don't think I've explained it, but I still enjoyed it a lot, but I don't think it was as, I wasn't as glued on my seat compared to the finals day, of course. I was very invested in how Wolftrekker was doing, and I was always curious about Group C in particular because of Crookst. I'm very interested and curious of the progression of Crookst as a pro GeoGuessr player in the future, since I feel like he's one of the newer players, and to see how to see him get into the World Cup for September was really nice to see it get as well. I feel like that game against Lennli in the last chance spots, I feel like he thoroughly deserved the win. He was performing really well in the no move, and I think he took one of the moving game victories, and then two no move victories was enough for him. So credit to Crookst for getting the job done, because I feel like he might have underperformed a little on the first day. I feel like he has a lot more potential to show, and to see him get through is probably good for the GeoGuessr in general, and also good to have might bring more people from the Minecraft community into GeoGuessr for all we know, especially the speedrunning side, because that's what he did previously. And of course, I think it'd be good for the home nation, Sweden, to have a representative as well. I feel like it's a good addition for the World Cup, especially. There's going to be a lot more people tuning in, I reckon, because of Crookst. And yeah, commiserations to Lennli. I feel like he played very strongly, but on the last chance, I feel like he just had the probably one of the highest opponents he could possibly get for it. You know, it was a very tough fixture for Lennli. I feel like he played the best he could in the moment, and unfortunately didn't get through. But it was great to see him at the event, having some great moments. Shame we won't see him perform um, in Stockholm, but hopefully I will see him in Stockholm in September if he's around, and it'd be good to catch up with him. So yeah, shout out Lennli, and yeah. Also the final one, I haven't talked about the final last spot. Szalek and Armani, a very very close game, very underrated game. I feel like it was very quick paced, quite not not as similar. It was quite different to the other games. I would say it was a lot more faster paced, and to see go to NPZ was really cool. And I feel like Armani just needs to win the no move games, which he did. And I think he won the no move games. I don't remember. I feel like he won two no move games. I don't remember him. I don't know if he won a moving game. Correct me if I'm wrong. But either way, it went to NPZ, and he played more consistently in NPZ. And Armani, I know, is a strong US player, I think. Correct me if I'm wrong, but regardless, he had an advantage in that round, it seemed, and he got close and won. So congrats to Armani for getting through. A very well-known top player in the community, and has been grinding for a while, and it's very nice to see one of those top players get a chance in the World Cup in September. So big props to him, and I guess we've got two Dutch players taking part in September, which is also very cool. But yep, like I say, I don't think I will be able to edit this down, sadly, because my software is having issues. If otherwise, then maybe you might not, it might be edited. I do not know. But either way, I really enjoyed the event. I really enjoyed watching it, and I'm hoping to be there in Stockholm in September. I've got my tickets, but obviously I need to prepare for flights. I need to make sure I will be able to get arrive there if work doesn't collide and stuff like that I do not know about yet. We'll see, but hopefully I'll be there to watch it in person. But yeah, like I say, great event. Thank you for the developers for making this happen as always, and shout out the casters, Rainbolt, everyone. You did an amazing job. Very proud of Zigzag and um, and Chicago for being very professional, and I think they've got a good potential career in that if they keep doing these events. So props to them. They've done a lot for the community, and it was also nice to see some of the players also have a chance to speak about stuff as well. And yeah, hopefully the Asia regionals will be just as entertaining. And yep, I'll be keeping an eye on who qualifies. I'm hoping some of my close friends get in, but we'll wait and see. But yep, thank you all for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Yeah, of course.